Hey everybody, JC here. Happy Thursday afternoon. It is 3:45 here in Porter, Texas. About to go pick up my brother-in-law from the hospital and take him to his physical therapy place. Let's get on the road with Tesla FSD. All right. Pulling out of my driveway. Avoiding my niece's car, the neighbor's Yukon, and Audi. And we're on our way. So yeah, just got a call from my brother-in-law, and they are releasing him from the hospital. So it's about a day earlier than I thought it was going to be. So he was hoping for yesterday. That didn't happen. I was thinking realistically Friday or maybe the weekend, and ended up being this afternoon. So that's a good thing. So this is going to be a fairly long trip. I am going all the way down to Sugarland to the hospital where he had his surgery. Going to pick him up at the hospital and then take him up to the Woodlands for his physical therapy place. It's the exact same place that he was at previously, right after his neck surgery. So same place there. So go all the way from Sugarland. So I'm leaving the northeast, the furthest northeast part of Houston, Texas. I am going to close to the furthest southeast part of Houston, Texas. Or I should say, I'm sorry, southwest. So I'm going northeast to southwest, pick him up, go all the way back across Houston up to the furthest northern part of Houston, drop him off at his physical therapy place, and then drive back over home to my home here in Porter in the furthest northeast quadrant of the city. So a lot of driving about to take place here in the greater Houston metropolitan area. So Tesla FSD, show up for me this afternoon and this evening. So it's actually it's 3:40 in the afternoon that we're leaving Porter. So I don't know what time I said before, but the exact time is about 3:40 to 3:45. So 3:40 when we left. It's showing it's going to take me about an hour to get down to Sugarland where he's at. Of course, I'm going to need to help him. I'm going to need to park and then go help him get out of the hospital. So I can't just drop a pin right in front of the hospital like I did last time, dropping him off. I'm actually going to have to park. So I found a parking spot on the map. And so hopefully this parking spot is good. We'll find out in about an hour. But yes, I'm going to have it take me to a parking location, park the Tesla. And I think it's an outdoor lot, so that may make it a little bit easier. Go up to the hospital, go inside, help him get discharged. And then likely go back out to my Tesla. Once I'm done helping him get discharged, go back out to my Tesla, go to the front of the hospital and pick him up there, and then drive him all the way to the Woodlands, which that will probably be an hour plus or more of driving, because we'll probably be going through the heart of the city at rush hour. So that may be an hour plus. And then once I get done dropping him off at his rehab facility, and when I say rehab facility, let me just be clear. when most folks hear the term rehab facility, they think in terms of drugs. That's not what this is. This is physical therapy rehabilitation. So this is where if you've had a stroke, or if you've had a heart attack, or if you've had back or neck surgery and you've been pretty much completely immobilized, this is the type of facility that will help you specifically do things with you to help you get back to being functional again, back on your feet and being functional. That's what this place is. So he was there. God, how long was he at that rehab facility? I want to say he was there for over a week, not quite 2 weeks, but I want to say it was like a week to a week and a half. And so we'll just see how long he needs to be at this location, or be there. That's the same location, be there again. But just wanted to be clear about that. As you can see, we've had some rain here in Houston today. Fortunately, not raining right now, but you know how that is. Once it rains, gets the streets all wet with a lot of standing water, it messes everything up for the rest of time. I don't know what's going on up here. Are we that congested right now that traffic isn't even moving? All right, it looks, I don't see anything happening. Oh, well, we can't do anything about it, right? That's another beautiful thing about FSD. I mean, they're having issues, they're having issues. All right, looks like we're moving now. Well, yes, we were. One thing we may need to do today as well is we may actually need to use a Tesla Supercharger today with as much driving as I've got to. So I am leaving the house, just so y'all know, I'm leaving the house at 66%. I did not charge all the way up to 80. And so just so you know, and we'll go back into this again when we start talking about batteries again, but because of the composition of my battery pack, the fact that it's a lithium ion with the, you know, what we talked about before with cobalt, magnesium, nickel, aluminum, and not the LFP type battery, I only charge my battery up to 80%. I don't go to 100, and you almost never need 100 anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But for battery health and longevity, I only go up to 80. But I didn't think my brother-in-law was going to be getting out of the hospital today. So had I known that, I would have gone ahead and put it, kept it on my home charger all day and let it charge up. But no, so we're at 66. Trying to think. Yeah, we're going all the way down to Sugarland, then all the way up to the Woodlands and back over to Porter. I may need to use a Tesla Supercharger today. We'll just see. Yeah, I don't know if it's the road construction up ahead. That's all. I see a big earth moving vehicle, a big kind of, not dump truck, but an actual earth mover up there. I don't know that's not a good sign. Somebody just got out of their car and opened up their trunk. When you're comfortable enough to do that, that's not a great sign. I don't know what's going on up here. All right. Oh, I think it is some of the work vehicles. I think that's what it is. So yeah, that's a pretty big, yeah, that's a big truck. Okay, maybe that's what it was. Well, they got to do their work. They got to do what they got to do. Let's see. Are we moving out now? We'll see. Yeah, it looks like we're moving. So that must have been it. Let's just get through here. All right, wants to get over to the left lane. We do that. Yeah, that's what it was, is that big truck. Hey, you know what? They're out here working hard, trying to expand this road for all of us out here. I am not going to bellyache about that. Those are hard-working fellas and gals. There's some gals out there, too. And, you know, they're going to need to use the road sometimes to get earth moving and concrete moving and rebar and foundation and containers, all of it. So give them some grace. Give those work crews some grace. They're out there working for you. All right. Going through some pretty heavy road construction here. Let's get through here, see how we do. Got the temporary curve here. Good job. So yeah, that's all it was. It was, we were being held up for the road crew. So no big whoop. We're moving on through now. Let's see. Should be getting up to the traffic light here in about 200 or 300 feet. Let's see if we keep the green light. I doubt it. Probably gonna get stopped up here at the traffic light. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, are we gonna keep it? Awesome. I did not think that was gonna happen, that we would keep it. And it does look like we'll get stopped up here at the intersection of North Park Drive and 59 East Tex Freeway. That's fine. Get up here to the intersection. There we go. Yeah, so we may just need to use the Tesla Supercharger today. We'll see. We'll see. Not a big whoop if we do. There's Tesla Superchargers all over Houston. And so, obviously we'll get all the way down to Sugarland and we'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. Probably be more of a question on the trip from Sugarland up to the Woodlands. Will it route me to a Tesla Supercharger? I can always override that, you know, because sometimes what I will tell you is the Tesla Tesla navigation will always default to being a bit conservative, and that's fine. You want it to. I'd rather the default in the system be something conservative, and what I mean by that is, a lot of times it doesn't want you showing up at a place less than 20%, when in reality, going below 20% is perfectly fine and perfectly safe, especially in the vehicle I'm in, which is a Model 3 long range. So for me, 20% charge is literally, you know, gosh, that is damn near 75, 80 miles of range with 20%, depending on how fast you go, obviously. But anyway, a lot of times it will, if you're going to show up at a destination below 20%, sometimes the navigation will go ahead and route you to a supercharger beforehand, so that you can, you know, it's geared to be safe. But I will tell you, I'm not concerned about that at all. And especially going up towards the Woodlands, I know personally of two separate Tesla Superchargers literally within 3 miles of his physical therapy place. So, and I know there's plenty more around there. So, not concerned. So really the question is will I, at starting out at 66%, will I be able to go from Porter to Sugarland up to the Woodlands, and then Woodlands back to home to Porter without hitting a Tesla Supercharger? Not that I'm going to try to do that. I'm not trying. I'm not one of those guys. Can I pull into my house at 1%? No, I'm not. But will be interesting to see how that all works out. All right, we're on 59 East Tex Freeway here. We're going to start making our way over to the left. But we've got traffic to our left. We're going to speed up a little bit to get that gap. We do. Great job. Fit into a gap. Nice move there. So there was a gap there to our left rear, and it sped up to get into that. Excellent job. And now we are all the way over to the left. Perfect. All right. So yeah, going to pick up my brother-in-law and take him to his physical therapy. So once again, want to thank all of y'all for all of your well wishes and the nice comments that I got both on X and YouTube related to him. So appears that everything is going good. I'm sure he was a handful for the folks at the hospital. You know, he's pretty chill. Like, and that's one of the interesting things everybody comments on is, man, your brother-in-law is so chill. And probably that's because you're comparing him to me. And I'm such a blabbermouth. I talk all the time. So he's a chill, cool dude. But, you know, he was really nervous about this surgery, as he should be. But I'm sure he was giving all those doctors and nurses fits. So they're probably ready to say goodbye to him and move him on over to his physical therapy place. Got some standing water being thrown back in our face. All right, so we are now on 59 East Tex Freeway going southbound. We will be en route for about 31 more miles. And at least for now, the navigation is saying that's about 45 minutes. So the last time that I was in my Tesla doing FSD, we were talking about various subjects. Let's see, one of them was, well, we crossed off the my driveway, talked about that. Talked about my brother-in-law already. We talked about the light bar, and I'll use that again tonight because there will definitely be a point where we'll need to, where the light bar will come up. Probably not on the trip out to Sugarland. In fact, sun's starting to come back out again. But if the navigation is correct, we should be pulling into my brother-in-law's hospital in Sugarland at about 4:40, 4:45. So we'll still have daylight at that time. But I'll make sure that on the way up to the Woodlands, and definitely from the Woodlands back home, I will make sure that I change the color on the light bar. So we've done blue, We've done red, we've done green, and we've done orange. And so far, I think orange was my least favorite. It didn't even look like an orange. It looked like a peach, like a light peach. On the user interface, it looked like orange. So I'll take a look at that and see if maybe if maybe peach is the color that they were going for. I don't know. But I will definitely throw on a different color than one of those four. And like I said, I think there's a total of 7 or 8. So we'll at least get to go through 2 more tonight, later tonight. So yeah, we talked about the light bar. And then we talked about Tesla's Q4 earnings call. And I didn't go too deep into the earnings call. If I recollect, what I did last night is I mentioned the fact that Tesla did in fact release their earnings report yesterday afternoon. They had their earnings call late in the afternoon, early evening yesterday. I talked about, in general, how the earnings call process works, why companies even do an earnings release in the first place when it's not even required. We talked about the 10K and 10Q process, which, oh, by the way, Tesla did in fact file their 10K annual report earlier this afternoon. So I have that downloaded on my Apple Mac back at home. And so my promise to you is that I will begin the process of reading that, digesting it, dissecting it, and letting y'all know what I think is of interest in there. Give me a little bit of time, because when I read, when I read a 10K, I definitely like to digest and dissect it. So give me a few days with that, and I'll take you through the Tesla 10K annual report, as much or as little as you want. And I'll put timestamps in there, so, folks that just want to see the FSD stuff, you can just see the FSD stuff. Anything interesting that comes up with FSD. And then for folks that are actually interested in hearing me talk about Tesla and the annual report and the earnings release, you're going to have that as well. All right. So yeah, we talked about how the 10Q, 10K reporting process works. And then we hit on a portion of their earnings call. So what I would say is I kind of divided the Tesla earnings call into 2 components. There was the historical Tesla component, which involves vehicle sales, vehicle production, vehicle delivery, vehicle sales, inventory management, supply chain management, accounts receivable, revenue numbers, revenue turnover, days sales outstanding, days of inventory on hand, all that sort of stuff. And what I mentioned is that, just to be blunt and transparent, it was a mixed bag. So the numbers weren't great. They had a tough Q4, and quite frankly, they had a tough 2024. A lot of that was out of the hand. I would say the majority of that was out of the hands of Tesla management, in that all of this did not happen in a vacuum, right? And so when I say all of this, what do I mean by that? Well, so JC, why are you saying it's a mixed bag? Why are you saying that, you know, from a historical Tesla perspective, you know, maybe it was a down quarter? And the reason I say that is because of what Tesla guided to previously. So when Tesla previously did a lot of their guidance around revenue and vehicle deliveries and production and that sort of stuff, I think the consensus analyst estimates were that, hey, we're going to at least try to get to 2 million vehicles delivered in 2024. You know, maybe we're not going to have the 20 to 25% growth year over year over year. But we had about 1.8 million Teslas delivered in 2023. So can we at least get to 2 million, right? And so that would not be in that 20 to 25% growth range. In fact, it'd be about half of that. But at least get us to that magical 2 million number for the year. We did not do that. In fact, we came in flat at 1.8. And in fact, not only did we come in flat, to really be transparent, it was a little bit less than 2023. In fact, not a lot. It was like, I think even less than 1%. But essentially, Tesla, when it comes to vehicle production and deliveries, was flat year over year. And when you compare that to Tesla historically, that's just not good, right? This is a company that has been used to just tremendous growth in the EV production, delivery, and sales market. They've led the way. I mean, let's do a little bit of history lesson. And so, yes, I am still on the historical part, and I'm going to get to it. There's a lot of Tesla folks that are like, JC, what are you doing here? Like, hey, got to remember, a lot of the folks that, you know, that I like to talk to in my videos are not Tesla nerds that have been in this universe for over 5 years, or in some cases over a decade. These may be folks that are new to Tesla. And so I want to do the history part of this as well. So if you go back 15 years ago, you know, yes, were there EVs in the United States? Yeah, there was the Nissan Leaf, the Chevy Bolt, or was it the Volt or the Bolt? I forget. I get those two mixed up sometimes. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't paying attention to EVs at all back then. So whether it was the Volt or the Bolt back in the late aughts, early 2010s, I think it was the Volt. I could be wrong. So Chevy folks, GM folks, please don't get mad at me. I mean, how can you get mad at me? The thing barely exists now, but you know what I'm saying. But you got to give credit where credit is due. You had the Nissan Leaf and GM Chevy Bolt out there doing their thing. And that was it. And it was just nothing. Let's just be blunt. There was literally no EV adoption in this country. None whatsoever. And where Tesla changed the game, look at that. Speaking of which, we got a Model Y right in front of us. A nice, beautiful Model Y directly in front of us. Awesome. But where Tesla changed the game is they took EVs out of being a niche product to something you see in the millions on our roadways now. So we went from being literally 0%. Let's just be blunt. In 2008, we were probably somewhere between 0 to 1%, and probably closer to 0% on the decimals of EV adoption in this country. And we are up to, I can't remember if it was, I think it's about 9%. We're somewhere around 9 to 10% EV adoption in this country. And even the biggest Tesla haters in the world will admit to you, because it's just an objective fact, the vast majority of that, and the biggest reason for that, of us even being close to being in double digits now, is Tesla. They changed the game. They changed the world. There are other countries in the world right now, besides the US, where the adoption is just skyrocketing. So, as far as like current landscapes, let's talk about the easiest one first. Norway. Norway is, don't get me wrong, we're not talking huge numbers here on an absolute basis, but it is Norway. I mean, it's still a big EU country, and they are above 90% EVs in that country. Not EV adoption, not EV adoption rate, but EVs. Over 90% of the vehicles in their country today are EVs, and well over half of those are Teslas. I can't remember if it was over six. I know it's over half, but I want to say it might even be over 60%. Oh, I don't know what that Dodge Ram truck was doing, what it was trying to avoid. I saw there was like a little solo cup out there, but I'm not sure if that's what it was trying to avoid. But yeah, that's because of Tesla. Now let's talk about the big enchilada. China. China is far and away, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, the single biggest car market in the world. Bar none. Not even close. You could doggone near combine the vehicle markets for the rest of the world. Take all the countries in the world, combine them, and that's China on its own. I mean, as China goes, so goes the world car market. Well, let me give you another fact on China. As of last year, more than 50% of all new vehicle sales in the country of China were EVs. Let me repeat that. As of last year, more than 50%, 51% plus, and moving northward at a significant pace, I might add. Over 50% of all new vehicle sales of all sorts. I don't care what you want to call a vehicle. That's a vehicle. That's a vehicle. That's a vehicle. That's not a vehicle. That's a road. That's not a vehicle. That's a building. But everything here, that semi, that passenger truck, that weird looking crossover SUV, whatever, Trax, what is that, a Chevy Trax? Golly, what are you doing, Chevy, with that thing? I mean, I'm sure it's a great car. It looks like somebody like punched it in the face and the fist slid upward. Anyway, over 50% of all new vehicle sales of all sorts in the country of China, the largest car market in the world, far and away, are EVs. And guess who leads the way on pure EVs in that market? Tesla. But I will tell you, just to be transparent, the country of China has the most competitive car market in the world as well. And there are some really good competitive car makers that make really good EVs, pure battery electric vehicles, as well as plug-in hybrids. I don't consider a plug-in hybrid to be an EV because you're kind of getting the worst of both worlds. We can go into that discussion on a later day, but I'll just let the cat out of the bag. I am not a fan of plug-in hybrids because for the consumer, you are getting the worst of both worlds. You're getting a crappy internal combustion engine and a crappy EV battery and shoving it together into a chassis and drivetrain that doesn't know which way it's supposed to go, because they're different, right? And I get it that folks are scared of EVs and the range anxiety, so that having the gasoline engine gives them some state of mind. But I'm telling you, you're getting the worst of both worlds. For those of y'all old enough, I'll say this. For any of y'all, well, I'm trying to think here. How old would you have to be for me to use this analogy? It's the best analogy I've heard thus far. I'm trying to think of when this thing finally just went kaput and they got rid of it. Let's see, I had one. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud right now. I had one in 1996. And I think I stopped seeing them all together by the turn. Yeah, I don't remember. So let's see, how old would you be then? You would, somebody born after 1990 may not remember it. So let's say 35. Let's just say 35 to 40. If you're below the age of 40, maybe you don't remember this. If you're over the age of 40, you damn sure remember the combo TV VCR. What a hunk of crap, right? Remember that thing? You didn't just have a TV. You did just have a VCR, but you had a TV VCR combo. But you also remember what happened with those things? If your TV went out, so did your VCR. If your VCR went kaput, so did your TV. And the quality of the VCR in the TV VCR combo was nowhere near as good as a standalone VCR. And the quality of the TV in the combo TV VCR that combo was nowhere near the quality of a standalone TV. So what they essentially did is they basically said, here was the value statement they made to you. Don't go pay however much it was back then. I mean, it was, you're probably paying what, $500 to $1,000 for a TV, for a good quality color TV back then. So don't go pay $500 for a color TV, and don't go pay $200 for a quality VCR, total of $700. Why don't you pay $550 for a combo? But guess what happened? That thing was, the quality was crap on it. So yeah, you saved $150, but the quality was crap, and it went out, and you lost everything. So you lost $750, right? When one thing went out, instead of just going and getting a new VCR. Obviously, that did not last very long. That's what I think about plug-in hybrids. So I don't want to besmirch anybody else getting a plug-in hybrid. It's always a personal decision. And if you enjoy that, if that's what you want to do, if you are interested in EVs, but you are just so doggone scared, right, of range anxiety, it just scares the living bejesus out of you. Or you just don't like Tesla. I get it. Some folks, you know what? Hey, to each their own. I love the company, but I get it. There's several reasons out there that folks just don't want to. They know in their heart of hearts that if they're going to get an EV, Teslas are the best. Teslas, and then, you got Rivians and Lucids, and they're all great too. But let's just be blunt. And there's another Tesla right on cue. As I talk about Tesla, one drives by me, another Model 3. But let's just be blunt. When it comes to everything, not just the drivetrain, not just everything, software, FSD. Well, obviously, we're the only ones that have FSD, but, well, you got to include that. That's a big part of Tesla is FSD and autonomy. The software, the acceleration, the drivetrain, the supercharger network. I mean, that's just an objective fact. You combine all that, everybody knows that if you're going to get a pure EV, Tesla's just it's the best. But some folks just may not want to go with Tesla. And that is absolutely fine. We live in the United States of America. And I've said it enough times to bore y'all to death. I put my life on the line. I put my feet on those little yellow footprints. I raised my right hand and I swore an oath and did 12 weeks of Marine Corps boot camp and earned the right to say I will defend with my life the people of this country, the nation they live in, and the Constitution we all live under for your right to say screw you to Tesla. That is you. I fought to give you that right, and if you so feel that way, I want you to exercise it. Nobody should ever tell you what you should drive. That is a personal decision, and I am proud of the fact that I fought for your right to do that, and I lost friends for your right to make the decision to publicly state, I don't like Tesla. I don't like Elon. All that stuff. Whatever it is, whatever your reason, I firmly support your decision in doing that. Now, right about now, many of you are going, JC, what in the world does this have to do with the Tesla earnings call? That's a fair question. But like I said before, I want to do that. A large part of my audience is brand new to Tesla, brand new. Maybe not my X, the folks that I talk to on a daily basis on X, obviously not. But my YouTube family, the vast majority don't own a Tesla, don't own an EV, have never even been in a Tesla nor an EV, and some of them. All right, and you folks on X, just shut your mouth. Some of them have not seen one yet. They live in areas in rural East Texas where they have not seen an EV yet, but they're intrigued. They're tech enthusiasts, or they like to work with their hands. They're machinists, they're stuff like that. So I'm also talking to those folks. So I'm giving them the whole history lesson here. And so where I was going with that was the China market. China, and BYD. So BYD, I mentioned that because I want to say BYD, who is a really, really good company in China that builds battery electric vehicles, but they also build pure hybrids. And so they combine those hybrid numbers in there. So when you take those hybrid numbers out from BYD, Tesla is still far and away the #1 seller of pure battery electric vehicles into the country of China. And it's only growing. This new Model Y that just got launched over in China, in 16 days, they had over 130,000 orders. Again, let me repeat that. In 16 days, they had over 130,000 orders for this new Model Y. And that's not just like, saying, I might be interested in it, put my name on the list. No, that is a $250 deposit that you put down to order a car. And if you decide you don't want it, you give up that deposit. Most people aren't going to give up it. They're not going to put $250 down on deposit on a car they don't want. So that is literally a third of Tesla's total global auto sales for a quarter. That's how huge this thing is in China right now. And that's how huge China is. So, that is the trajectory and the environment that Tesla is working in. Right. Oh, we're coming up. Let me put a pin in that. I just want to see what's going on up here. Looks like we're heading into some heavy traffic. Let's see what it shows. But it's showing I should only have 15 to 18 minutes. Maybe this is just short-lived. Let me get a little swallow of this. Yeah, that's all it is. Well, this will be momentary. But I wanted to say all of that, give all that context to that's who Tesla is. Tesla, and soon as I say it, another one. It's like literally the minute I say Tesla, another. And so that is a Model Y. Beautiful white Model Y. Isn't that funny how every single time I bring Tesla back up, another one drives right by me? So anyway, and there's another one right there. Look at that. Beautiful. Model 3 right there. So that's funny. Now the folks in California that are watching this are going like, good Lord, JC, like I can be in traffic on the 405 and everything's a Tesla. I get it. That this isn't California. This is Southeast Texas. So anyway, I wanted to set that picture for you for when you're talking about pure battery electric vehicles. Yes. Is there a Rivian out there? Yes. And they're great. Love their cars. Is there a Lucid out there? Same thing. Man, that's just beautiful. And great drivetrain. But let's just be blunt. I mean, they're a rounding error in the amount of vehicles they've sold compared to Tesla in the last 15 years. Pure battery electric vehicles globally is Tesla. They made the market. The fact that we are close to 10% adoption in the U.S., that is Tesla. The fact that Norway is over 90%, that is Tesla. The fact that all new vehicle sales in the country of China are pure battery electric vehicle now, that is Tesla. It's all Tesla. But now let me bring it back to the earnings call. So that's been great. Historically, Tesla has just grown and their vehicle production, deliveries, and sales have just grown north of 25%. Year over year over year over year. That did not happen this year. And there's a number of reasons why. And I definitely want to broach those before we head over to the other part of the earnings call. And I lightly touched on those yesterday. But a big one is just that it's been a terrible, terrible market for selling cars. Forget about whether they're battery electric or internal combustion engine. It's just been a bad market. I mean, guys, if you wanted me to tell you how bad it's been, go look at GM's earnings release from a week or so ago. They literally had, I want to say, a $5 to $6 billion write-down, mostly due to China. They're not selling in China anymore. You know why? Because China doesn't buy internal combustion engine cars anymore. They just don't. The largest car market in the world, bar none, they are no longer interested in the type of cars we like in the United States. All of these cars you're seeing around me, China doesn't want them anymore. They want battery electric or they want plug-in hybrid. They don't want any of these. None of them. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, JC, I'm out here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, driving around, or I'm out here in Columbus, Ohio, or I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, or I'm in San Diego. Well, San Diego is a bad example because all they're going to see is Teslas. But I'm out here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I see all sorts of Toyotas and, Mercedes and Chevys, Malibus. I don't even know if they make that anymore. Or, Chevy trucks. They're all around me. What do you mean they're doing bad? Bro, you are such a small part of the overall global car market now. And I'm not saying I'm your fellow countryman. Remember, I'm the dude that's the Marine. I'm a United States Marine. I literally would die for you if it meant the sovereignty of our nation. That's how I feel about you. So when I say, bro, get out of your bubble, I'm saying it in a loving way. So let me say it. Bro, get out of your bubble. The United States car market, it just ain't what it used to be. That old bird just ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. Ain't what you used to be. U.S. car market ain't what it used to be all day long. Yes, the U.S. car market used to be far and away the number one car market in the world. We used to be China. We used to be China from a car market standpoint. We're just not. We are not. China has lapped us when it comes, let's just be, it's just a math equation. It's not a value statement. It's just a math equation. China has nearly 2 billion people. I know it's less than that. It's probably like 1.8, whatever it is. But 2 billion people compared to 300 million. I mean, granted, we're still a very big country at 3 to 330 million, whatever it is we're at now. I forget what the last census said, but somewhere around 300 million, 330 million. But I mean, guys, they're like 6 times bigger. I'm going to do the math there. Yep, they're almost 6 times bigger than us. So their car market is going to be a lot bigger than ours. You know? I mean, what I'm going to tell you, here, let me just tell you what the future of the U.S. legacy OEMs are. China doesn't want our cars anymore, and they're 6 times our size. I'm going to tell you what I would say to the legacy OEMs is thank the Lord that India hasn't developed, for their sake, not for the Indian sake. Obviously, I want them to develop, but for the legacy OEMs, thank the Lord that India hasn't developed to the same level that China has from a transportation point at this point, because believe me, they're going to do the same thing. China went from literally not driving anything and being on mostly bikes 30 or 40 years ago to literally, yes, did they do gas cars for a while? But they never got, like, it never became an emotional object to them like it is to us. Like in the United States, we still have an emotional attachment to the gasoline car because in our culture, it was that first thing that gave us freedom, right? You go all the way back to the 30s and 40s and 50s. It was the thing that allowed you to get more than 50 miles away from your home. You got to remember, before the automobile, most Americans never went 20 or 30 miles past their home in their lifetime. And then the car came along, and all of a sudden we had this freedom, this amazing freedom. So it's completely understandable that we would have this cultural attachment to the gasoline car. Well, guess what? Guess what the Chinese were doing in the 30s and 40s and 50s? And let's just be blunt, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And honestly, because I was over, even into the 90s in a large part of the country, they were riding bikes. They were. I mean, let's just be blunt. They do not have this cultural affiliation to the gasoline car that we do in America. And so when something better came along, like the Tesla, the pure battery electric vehicle, they had no problem adopting it. And they aren't. They are having zero issues adopting it. So then you might be asking yourself, but JC, Why does that impact me in the US with my legacy OEM car? Well, here's the way how it's going to impact you is GM and Ford and Stellantis, they have built their companies around serving China and Asia for the last couple of decades. And now it's gone. Literally, they subsidized your Suburban. China subsidized your Chevy Equinox. They subsidized your Cadillac. They subsidized your Ford Ranger or your Ford F-150. Do they make the Ranger anymore? Sure they do. They subsidized your Dodge Ram truck. It all got subsidized. And what do I mean by subsidized? Is they were able to spread that cost across millions upon millions of vehicles, like not just tens of millions, close to hundreds of millions of auto sales into China and East Asia over the past 2 to 3 decades, which lowered their cost base and allowed them to subsidize the cost of making your ICE vehicle. Well, that's going away. It just is. And so, are they going to continue to make your Ford F-150, your Cadillac Escalade, your Chevy Silverado? Yeah. But it's going to get more and more niche. It's going to become more and more expensive. That cost curve is going to go the wrong way on them because they're not going to have that base to spread those costs across. And then what's going to happen is slowly but surely, more and more of those Americans, that 90% that haven't adopted EVs yet, they're going to get picked off. So yeah, out of that 90% that haven't adopted an EV yet, how many of them just hate EVs and will never get one? Not all 90. So what happens when in the year 2025, 2026, maybe 5 to 7% of y'all go and buy an EV? Well, that's going to make it harder for that remaining 83%. And then what if another 5 or 10% the next year? Well, that's going to make it even harder for that remaining 70%. And the next thing you know, you're just going to have the diehards left. And they're going to be spending twice as much for an ICE vehicle that probably won't exist by then anyway. I'm just being blunt with you, folks. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. That's why I wanted to talk about China and East Asia. Because folks are sitting there going like, hey, y'all keep telling me that China's lapping us in EVs and they're doing this with AI and that I need to be worried in Lincoln, Nebraska. Why do I need to be worried in Lincoln, Nebraska? And I'm trying to explain to you why you need to be thinking about that. Why it is going to impact you. Whether you like it or not. I just want to be honest with you. If nobody else in our Congress, if nobody in the House of Reps or the Senate or your president or anybody else is going to be honest with you, at least I will be. China's kicking our butt when it comes to EV adoption, when it comes to adopting brand new technologies. I think China's going to adopt the FSD before Europe does. Right? How embarrassing is that going to be? That this technology that I'm using right now will highly, highly likely be used in China before it's used in the United Kingdom. That's what's happening right now in our world. It's the blunt force trauma, honest truth. And so I want everybody that follows me or subscribes to me, I want y'all to get on the train with me. I don't want y'all to fight the train. You can't fight a train. It's going to win. Don't fight the train. And don't even get out of the way of the train. I don't want you to get left behind as the train goes by. I want you to get on that train. I want you to go choo choo. I think I need another swallow. But this has been a bad year for all vehicle manufacturers all around. So if you think Tesla being flat on auto sales for pure electric vehicles in 2024 was a mixed bag, my God, go look at GM, go look at Ford, go look at Stellantis, and go read about all their restructuring charges and their impairment charges and their severance. I mean, it's all over the place. They are not growing. They are not. They are shutting down entire business lines. That whole GM Cruise thing, I mean, completely shut down and written off. They've written off almost their entire China business. How bad is that? You're writing off your business in the largest car market in the world? So, whereas Tesla is increasing their throughput, they're expanding in China. But that has some, headwinds to it. And we met some of those headwinds in 2024. So it was definitely a mixed bag. Interest rates were high. Obviously, we all know inflation was high for a good part of 2023 and then even into 2024. So there were a ton of headwinds. And so it just created a mixed bag for the historical company. And what I'm going to talk about next, and not on the next trip because I'll be with Sin when I get there, but when I leave him and go back home, we'll talk about the other part of the earnings call. But we have completely torn apart, annihilated the historical business part. So let me put a pin in the earnings call and see how it does taking me into a parking lot. We should be, what are we going to do here? All right. I think we're going to go into that parking lot. Let's just see if it takes me in there. Let us see. All right, putting on our left blinker. Roll my window down. All right, rolling through. Let's see how it does here at the gate. Let's see. It's going to have to stop.
Please push green flashing button.
All right. Let's see if will it move up a little bit? Maybe not. I'm going to have to let me see here. Let's move up just a little bit.
Please remove that ticket.
All right. Now let's see if it'll move.
Drive through.
All right. So I had to intervene to get through the gate there. I had to touch it was non-critical, obviously, but I did have to touch the accelerator to get through. Now let's see if it'll park us. Looks like it's going to, I think. Well, maybe not. Let's see. What are you going to do here? No. Object and path detected. Are we just stuck? It's trying to park in this spot here, and I think I'm just going to have to... Yeah, all right. Well, I need to go in and get there's my ticket. Let me go ahead and park. And there we go. That was I don't know why it picked this spot though. That's like, there's so many spots around. Well, it's the closest to where he's at, so that's good. I am closest to where I could possibly be, but it'll be interesting to see getting out of here. So we had 0 interventions, critical or non-critical, getting here. And then we pulled up to the parking gate. I did have to touch the accelerator just a smidge to get it through the parking lot gate. Honestly, I'm gonna be on. I at this point, I don't even consider that like an intervention, because we're talking about it got me to the parking lot, and getting through parking gates at this point, I mean, nobody's gonna do that in a cybercab world. So that part of it's just kind of cool to see from a passenger perspective if it'll just keep on going through. But it did stop for it, which is a good thing. It stopped for the gate. I was able to get the ticket, but in order to continue to go through after they opened the gate, I had to touch the accelerator. So anyway, let me shut her down, and I'm gonna go get my brother-in-law, and I will see y'all in a little while. All right, everybody, bye. I remember this place, but I remember it had like a Conroe address. It's like in the Woodlands, but
Yeah.
it's like, so let me,
It's a weird address.
yeah,
huh?
it's a weird, so it was Encompass
Right there.
home. Let's see, that's not it. It's
Encompass of the Woodlands.
let's go Woodlands, yeah. Woodlands.
It's in Shenandoah.
Yeah. I think it's this one. Here, when I pull it up, yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, here, when I pull it up, it'll see. Let's let it come up. I'm pretty damn sure that's the one. Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
So it's like across. You feeling all right, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it sucks. All right.
Yeah, that's it. It's Shenandoah. I see.
Let's go to it. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was crazy the other night, man. People give me medicine. They need to, you know what I mean? You give somebody medication, the patient needs to see where you withdrawing the medication from, not in another room, not partial bottles. And sure enough, I called them out on that. I made a big deal out of it. They fixed it though. They got me another nurse. I told the floor manager, you know what I mean? The next day, everybody heard about it, man. I made a big deal out of it, you know? Hey, you don't do this. That's not good medical practice.
Hold on a second. I'm just concentrating on this right now as we get out of here. Because I thought it was going to go down that lane, which would have been a no-no, and it didn't. It corrected itself. Good job. So I will definitely listen to you here in a second, Sin. Let me just make sure we're good getting out of this. This parking lot here is crazy.
This whole
setup here. I get it. I mean, they've got this huge hospital infrastructure campus over here that's really not in the best location for it, but you do what you got to do. But it makes for some weird streets and parking areas. All right, all right, good deal. All right, let me just see which direction. All right, we're good to go. Okay. So was it that you had a nurse that wasn't following procedure or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
And top of that, I was in pain and she was laughing at me. I could see her laughing.
Really?
The mess, yeah.
Did you tell the others?
No, I didn't tell about the laughing, but I told them about, look, hey, I told her, look, you just gave me a shot of something I didn't see. Where'd it come from? Oh, do you want to talk to my, yeah, definitely. And I told him, the floor manager, or the floor head nurse, I said, she gave me a shot of something. I didn't see her make it out. I didn't know where the vial came from, and this and that.
And she was a nurse, and not like an orderly or
no, that was my nurse for
a real nurse.
And
that was laughing at you while you're in pain.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I know you. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know how strange that is to hear that somebody who's a nurse would laugh at somebody while they're in pain. That doesn't sound. And I know you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that. I've like literally never heard of that.
Well,
So that would
you
be
witnessed
way.
it? I witnessed it. you
Yeah,
know.
I'm with you.
Bad medical practice.
So what did they do? So you got yourself a new nurse?
Yeah, they gave me another nurse, and she every time she bring my medication, she'll tell me what they about to give me, and this and that, where the needle came from, brand new, this that. You know, another nurse, she already had something made, and you know, I'm like, whoa, hold on, did you just give me a shot of something I didn't see you make up? You know what I mean? Oh well, we keep a half a vial because it's 4 milligram of, man, I forgot that medicine. Not codeine, but what's
Morphine?
the other one? Morphine. There you go. Always forget that. 4 milligrams, and we got to save the other 2. No, you don't do that. I've been telling them about that. I was like, are you guys saving half the bottle for another patient? Because that's what your nurse just said that you guys are doing. You guys are supposed to, you know, throw that away, like after, you know, because it exposes the air and, you know, germs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there ain't no way you can cap it. You poke it, you draw it, and that's it. Well, she said they already had, you know, one made up from a partial bottle. I was like, okay. Nah. That's when she's like, you want to talk to my head nurse? Yeah, we're going to get down to the bottom of this.
That's a no. I mean, I'm with you, man.
You would freak out too, JC.
Oh, hey, believe me.
Come on,
I mean, granted, if I was in, I'd have probably been knocked out and just not giving a crap.
No, I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain. And after that,
Well, that's why I'd probably just been like, shoot whatever the hell you want into me.
no, but my paranoia and my
Well, that's what
Yeah.
part of it is just, yeah, you got a little bit of natural
like,
paranoia.
hey, where you know, come on. You don't see the needle where it came from. You don't see where they draw the medicine from, and you're in pain. You're like, and they tell you this, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, she's probably not used to that with people, because most people that are, and again, this is just, it just is what it is. You're in the right. You can ask you're the patient. You can ask whatever you want. They're not used to, when people are in pain, they just want you to shoot anything and everything, or if you're not, then chop their head off and get it over with. Right? They just want to be out of the pain. So they're not used to somebody who's in pain
No, they're used
giving
to
them
people.
giving them instructions.
Oh yeah, calling them out on their.
Yeah, they're not. So that's probably, she's
that's-
just used to like, all right, I got this person in pain. They want medicine real quick. I'm going to give it to them real quick.
No, but yeah, there's.
Now, I'm not trying to justify her style. Obviously, what you told me, that's piss poor. I'm just telling you what they're probably used to. You know?
Yeah, they wanted. So I finally peed this morning.
Oh, you hadn't peed in a while?
I haven't peed since the surgery, but
What?
since the morning, I gave him some pee, and I gave him a lot of pee. So
What
I
happened?
peed.
Why do you think? you weren't
It's
able
after
to pee?
surgery, the anesthesia. They had a catheter. I mean, remember I told
Right.
you?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So when they pulled
So
it out,
you were peeing, it just was through a catheter.
yeah, it was. But when they pulled the catheter out yesterday morning, they wanted to pee like 8 hours later. Bro, you guys just took it out, man. Hold on, give me.
That makes sense. And plus, you probably don't have that many fluids in you to. Yeah. So you, for a while there, for probably 24 hours, you were peeing. It was just like the the catheter way. But then, yeah, once they took that out, you probably didn't even have enough fluids in you to give them any pee.
Yeah, I mean, my body's got to function. You got, plus the night before that incident, I only had 2 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? I'm still in pain.
What incident happened?
But that nurse thing.
Oh, yeah.
I call it an incident because it is an incident. And I documented everything, so it's an incident. And I talked to, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you probably didn't get a lot of sleep. Yeah, because you were texting me at like 1 a.m. So I figured you were.
Yeah, I happened to live for now. I mean, it's got to be justified.
Dude, you're the patient. It's always I mean, at the end of the day, it's customer service and you're the customer. So.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get slapped with a used needle or, you know what I mean? You never know.
No.
It came from another room. I didn't see no kind of protective cap on it. It was already made out, so and see where. But anyways, I'll leave it alone and stuff.
Well, you're gone from there now. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, it's stressful though, man.
Yeah, and you're done with your surgeries. You got your last surgery done.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this one was a doozy. I was thinking that this was going to be the easier than your neck. Although, now that I think about it, you were pretty much down for the count after the neck one, too.
Yeah.
In fact, you're moving around better 2 days after this surgery than you did after your neck one.
No.
Well, you weren't even out of the hospital 2 days after your neck surgery.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so you're better. You're
Right
better
here.
this time around.
They're trying to kick people out right here, like.
Well, but it's probably better for you to get into a rehab place and start rehabbing.
They wasn't trying to put me in a rehab.
Well, you could. I mean, either home or rehab. Yeah. Did you want to stay in the hospital?
Yeah, I'm still hurt. Still, like I'm in a lot of pain. I'm talking about like they say red as a 10.
Like you can't sleep type of pain.
I can't sleep. I can't get up. I can't do things. Yeah. I'm in. I mean, I was cramping up my whole body. I had this catheter in me.
I couldn't
I
imagine.
was crying, bro. I was like,
oh, I get it,
man,
dude. And it's like that type of pain. So like it felt like you were like, well, neither of us have ever felt this before, but
yeah,
like if a woman was in labor, that kind of pain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I get it.
Pretty much. Like I didn't feel my midsection. I'm like crying because I'm thinking I lost all the feelings, but I forgot they gave me an epidural. So I'm like, I can't feel my midsection. You know what I mean?
So you're going so you got your normal paranoia mixed in with some an epidural mixed in with some morphine
and a catheter.
Oh Jesus H Christ!
Yeah, nah, but this is the whole day. I had to take my socks off, and I started cramping up in bed, man. Bad, like right here. I never had them cramps. Not during the time, like, you know what I mean? I never had it. So whatever they did, they they opened some nerves up to where I'm like, oh,
that's probably a good thing. That's probably a natural thing, right? It's like again, they sawed into your back, dude. I mean, it's gonna like make some things go a little weird and bump in the night for a while, right? But you felt your legs, right? You felt your legs. Yeah, it may have sucked feeling it, but it wasn't like, holy shit, I can't feel my legs anymore.
Yeah.
And so that you got ironically, that pain is a good thing.
Yeah. That's what they said.
Yeah, because the worst thing is you come out of that surgery and like, I don't feel any pain. What the hell? Well, that's because our surgery didn't go so great. We got something to tell you, Mr. No. Apologies.
We're good though. What do you guys do yesterday?
For New Year.
Yeah.
Get past this semi real quick. He looks like hold on one second, bud. He looks, I don't know which way he's going, so let me just concentrate on that. Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay. Let me see what we're gonna do around this semi. Okay. Get up over here. There we go. Alright. I don't think we did. There wasn't much that anybody did. I mean, to clean the house. That was about it. I'm sure they may have done something over at your mom's house. I'm not sure. So we've got, but yeah, the house got cleaned up good for New Year's. What else? Two made some food today. You know, she's doing the vegetarian thing. How long do you do that for?
Probably 40 days.
Yeah, so she's going to do the vegetarian thing for 40 days. So she made some good food today. And, I say good. It was all vegetarian, but it tasted pretty good. What else? Not much. I mean, nobody did anything like big. Trying to think if there was anything else. She went to the boba shop, worked worked during the day on her new job, and then went to the boba shop at night, the restaurant boba shop, and then yeah, that was about it. We knew we were at some point that gonna need to make arrangements to come get you. We didn't know when. We were pretty sure after that first night, it's like, well, okay, we're not picking him up tomorrow. And he's not coming home. He'll probably be going to some rehab place again. So that worked out. I guess the only thing I was thinking after that, I was like, well, it may be Friday or the weekend before I get him out of the hospital. But like you said, they were trying to push you out.
Yeah.
But at least, like you said, you're getting in a rehab place and you know those people well. And they're going to have all the medication. And those people, you know them, so you can talk to them.
Yeah,
Medication. Yeah, judging by your pain level, you may be there. Like, how long? You were there for about a week last time, right? A little longer?
10 days.
10 days. That's what I thought. I thought it was about a week and a half. You may need, this may be another one, dude. Just don't rush yourself, right? Because you need to be able to walk around completely on your own. And judging by what you're wearing and how you told me you're feeling, you may need another week or 10 days.
Yeah.
Just take your time.
Yeah, I can't go home like this.
No, there ain't no way.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to shower. I want dogs jumping on me. Oh, yeah.
No, you're going to have to, before you come back to our house. Now, you could go to your mom's house and no, they got a dog too, don't they?
No, I should be okay after the rehab.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is you don't want to get out of rehab until you're absolutely comfortable, like around dogs jumping on you and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only thing you got to think about is that those dogs. There's nothing we can do. We're not going to lock them up.
I got that walker. I'll use the walker through the house.
Mm-hmm.
How you like that C4? It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's actually not bad, man. I haven't really ever drank these before, and there were no monsters in the. So I said, let me grab one of these. It's pretty good.
It's really good.
Same thing as a Monster, no sugar added.
Yeah.
It's not great. Obviously, it's not good for it, but it's at least it doesn't have regular sugar in it. By no means am I looking at this going like, oh, this is healthy. No, it's to, just to keep going. But, yeah, so at least, look, we got all your surgeries are done now. So now it's all about rehabbing. But you're going to need some time, man. You're going to need some time. So, yeah, we had the New Year's thing yesterday, like getting the house all cleaned up. And then, what did we do today? Oh, this is it right here. Coming and get you. And then Saturday, we're going to Justin and Jessica's engagement party. And then that's about it. That's all that I think I have. And then at a certain point, come get you out of Encompass.
Yeah.
So that's all that's on the. Two's going to, she doesn't go to Wichita next week. She goes the week after that. Speaking of Wichita, did you hear about those poor people on that plane?
Yeah.
God, that sucks.
Flew out of Wichita to D.C. Supposedly like a whole bunch of figure skating people on there. That's not that makes any difference if it's anybody, but it's just sad. So at least, they're still trying to figure things out, but at this point it sounds like it was an air traffic control thing. But again, it's going to take days, maybe even weeks before they know the full picture. But it sure as heck sounds like it was a air traffic control snafu. Because there's no way a military helicopter and a passenger jet should be in the same airspace, right? Yeah. Someone messed up.
Yeah. Ironically, That's what Justin, when he leaves in, was it March, to go for his training in Oklahoma, that's his career. He's going to be, so that's what I'm going to tell him on Saturday. I was like, dude, however hard you thought your school was going to be, 10x that now. Because they are going to be going hard in the paint on y'all. Yeah, so just happy you got that last surgery done. So from here on out, man, it's just, first you just got to get through this initial pain, right? And that's just normal that you're going to have this. I mean, I couldn't even imagine, but I've never, thank the Lord, I've never had to have back surgery or neck surgery. But from what I hear, it's, you know, it's probably one of the tough, other than your brain, right? Obviously the toughest place to get surgery is your brain, because you never know, or heart, brain and heart. But other than those two, I couldn't imagine any tougher place than your back and your neck, because so many things come out of there.
Yeah.
So, but now that they've done it, you won't have those nagging issues anymore. Of course, you got to get through the rehab and all that. It's going to take a while. And you probably don't feel that way now. Right now, you're like, dude, what are you talking about? Be all better. I feel like a sack of shit right now. But you've gotten everything done that will eventually lead to you feeling a whole lot better. But it's going to take a while.
I didn't expect this.
So you weren't expecting well, let me ask you this. The pain that you've been feeling, so you had your surgery on Tuesday, so it's been 2 days now. The pain that you've been feeling for 48 hours, a lot worse than the pain after your neck surgery?
Yeah, definitely.
Really interesting.
Definitely.
So it ended up being worse than the neck surgery.
Yeah, definitely. This is like, this is vicious. This is like, I'm talking about tear drenching, like pain, like,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
middle night, you're cramping up in your buttocks. You know, you're cramping up. You don't know where the pain's coming. You're like, like, you know.
You just want to die.
Every move, you just some like stabbing, stretching.
You're basically asking somebody to come in the room with a baseball bat and just hit you in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't even imagine, dude. I've never had back or neck surgery. Obviously, I've never been pregnant, but that's what I've heard, is it's the closest a man can ever come to feeling like what delivering a baby is. There you go. Yeah, you got your baby right there.
Yeah, I told him once the surgery get done, I'm gonna paint this.
That's what it looks like, one of those Roman shields, like Roman armor.
I told him paint this orange and go to the Union Beach games.
Hey, so you're pretty good. Let's go Cougars. That's funny. That's hilarious. Well, let's see if those same nurses are there. Of course, it's going to be nighttime, but so you may not even see the regular shift there by the time we get there. So let's see, it's 5:41 right now. It shows us getting there about 6:30. Yeah, so they're going to have I'm assuming they have like a night shift even at that place, right?
Yeah, they got a nice shift.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know what you're going to want to do before heading in there.
Definitely.
No, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. And I can come out there every couple of days or so, check in on you.
Yeah, definitely. Like same like last
Bring
time.
some food.
Yeah.
Maybe once you get to the point that you feel like you can get wheeled around or walk around, go out there and go to that little.
Man, that's a long drive, ain't it?
It is, isn't it?
How long did it take you to get to the hospital?
It was about an hour. It wasn't that bad, yeah, because let me look at one thing. Yep, that's okay. Just making absolutely sure. Yeah, we're still on the Beltway. Yeah, I want to say it may not have even been an hour. It might have been like 45, 50 minutes, because you got to remember. Well, no, it's probably about an hour, because a good part of that trip I'm going against traffic.
Yeah.
Because while I'm going downtown, everybody else is coming the other direction. Now, once I hit downtown, it was a little bit, a little bit more congested, but it wasn't that bad. I was kind of surprised. I was expecting it to be a little more. So I would say it was probably, I could be wrong. I could be off a little bit, but I would say about an hour. This one from here to the Wood, I think this one's going to be more like an hour 15, hour 20. But that makes sense. We're going literally from the southwesternmost part of Houston to the northernmost part. So we good.
Good.
Yes, I guess we'll take the Beltway all the way to 45, and then we'll take 45 north. So we got about 12 miles till 45 north, and then take that on up. Starting to lose some daylight. So I switched up my light bar. How do you like the purple? So you've seen it with blue at night.
Yeah, blue is beautiful. Yeah.
You like the blue. I did red the morning I took you to the hospital.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How did you like that?
It was decent.
It was all right, but you like the blue better.
Yeah, this looked like T-Mobile telephone store.
That's true. It does look like T-Mobile. So and that's what I'm doing. I'm switching up. So folks, somebody asked me that on YouTube, like, hey, we really like the light bar, but can you show us all the different colors? So every nighttime drive now, I've been doing a different one. And I still think blue is my favorite one. But yeah, tonight was purple.
Yeah.
So, it's all right.
They got like
It's almost like an off red though.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
it kind of looks like pinkish, but
yeah, it does look a little pink. They actually got a pink, straight up pink in here. But you're right. It looks kind of like it's either T-Mobile, or it's just like straight up pink, depending on how you look at it. Of course, once the sun fully goes down, that's when you'll really see how it looks.
You have green?
We do. Yeah, I did green.
Yellow?
I did. I don't think it has yellow. It's got blue. It's got red. It's got green. I did orange the other night. Oh, here, let me see. Without getting this. Okay, so there's the lights.
Oh, so you can adjust it to whatever. You could make your own color.
So that's green.
Oh, that's neat. I like that.
Like the green? All right, so there's the normal. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So that's been blue. That's the green again. So you like, out of the blue and green, which one you like the best? That green kind of has a contrast.
Yeah.
It kind of hits a little. All right, let me do.
You know, you can switch the colors up and just move it around.
Yeah, do like this.
Yeah. They got like a dark red. So
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, maybe
blue.
that's what I was doing.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's like, see, that's what it is. It's the, so I did like this orange.
Yeah.
But that looked like a peach.
Oh,
But now,
that
but
looks
so
red.
now that's a real orange right there.
That looks kind of red.
That
looks
actually
kinda-
does look, hold on a
that-
second.
That looks kind of red.
Now that looks orange.
That looks orange, yeah.
That looks like real, like Texas Longhorn burnt orange.
Yeah.
Whereas that looks peach. So that's what it was. So I was thinking it was their orange color, but you're right. I just realized that.
Yeah.
You don't just have to go by what, like,
No.
I pushed that. That's giving you the middle one. But if
Yeah.
I go up here, it's an even darker
Yeah,
blue.
you could just slide around, play with it, and it's just like,
Look at that.
yeah. Don't say I didn't teach you nothing.
You just taught me something about my own damn Now there's a push button.
That's to save the colors.
Oh, to
That's
save color.
yeah.
Oh, yellow. I don't like it. Yellow looks like a banana split.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a lemon.
Let's see. And then there's the norm. That's what we took when we took you to the hospital. And we were, what were we on? We were on this one. So yeah, you're right. That look. See, if I go, I bet you I go there. That's straight up pink right there.
Yeah, that looks kind of pinkish purple.
That looks like. But now we were right there.
Yeah, that's pink.
That's pink.
Okay, yeah, that's pink.
That's like Barbie pink right there.
Yeah, that's rose pink.
Let's see. Green. Green looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't like the yellow. Let's see what. That's like.
That looks cool.
That
That's
looks
tea.
all right. Looks kind of
That's called tea. That's
teal, like
yeah,
teal. Yeah,
teal.
teal. Let's see it. What if they've got like Carolina blue? See, now that's Carolina
Yeah, that's
blue.
yeah.
That's like North Carolina blue, that light blue. So you could do all sorts of things. You could do like, you know what I could do? College football season's over. Like whatever the college game day game of the week is, I could say like, all right, who am I picking? Like all you folks wanting to put money on the game, who does JC pick? And the day that I make my pick, that's how so you know how Lee Corso does he puts, you know what I'm talking about? On college game, he puts the hat on.
Uh-huh.
I'll do the light bar for team colors.
Yeah.
So you're like, whatever.
No, I understand.
I like the blue. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of more purple.
Yeah. That's kind of like Prince Purple Rain.
Yeah. Yeah, the yellow just out of that one. And then what about right in the middle? So that's like nothingness.
That's like, yeah, that's default.
That's
like, you know what I mean?
default, yeah, like nothingness. Which one do you like the best?
I'm more like a, kind of like a tea color. Yeah.
Teal?
Teal.
Like that?
Yeah.
Or hold on a second, let's see. Like that? Like teal
Yeah.
to light blue, like that right there? Almost between teal and Carolina blue?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We'll leave it at that for now. All right. Well, you just taught me something about my own Tesla, man. Sometimes it's good to just pull the UI up. Now, somebody else asked me a question, and I probably shouldn't try to do it while we're driving, but they were like, can you get it to alternate colors? I don't think it can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it does one color for 5 seconds and goes to another. Theoretically, it should be able to do that, but it seems like something you'd have to like
Wait for the next software update.
yeah, or just while the car's not moving to figure
Yeah.
out. I'd have to go into the user's manual, to the owner's manual, and see if there's a way to have it kind of like on a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Like you could have a straight color, but you could also have like the kaleidoscope thing going,
Yeah.
one color after the other.
I'm pretty sure they can, and they do.
Yeah,
And it's
it
all
doesn't
about.
seem like it'd be hard.
Yeah, all it takes is the app or something. You know.
Yeah.
You could download or something. Who
Well,
knows?
probably not even that. It's probably like they probably couldn't do it through an app because Tesla doesn't, they guard their, they call it API pretty stringent. So it's hard to use but you're right. Even if there's something that you can't do straight through the Tesla, system, it's almost like, is there a third party app out there that's entered into an arrangement with Tesla where you can do it. Here I am talking.
Yeah.
Tesla may have it on there. I just haven't.
Yeah.
You literally just taught me that I could just do different combinations of colors in there. I didn't even realize that, because I just had it set on blue, and I was like, until somebody asked me a question about it. So look at that. Sin taught me something about my own car that I've owned for 4 months. It's been September, October, November. Yep, going on my 5th month.
Do you miss the Plaid?
Yeah, every once in a while I do. I mean, I miss it. I mean, like, part of it is like it saved my life,
Yeah.
right? So there's forget about whether it was a Model S or a Plaid or all the stuff it could do.
Yeah.
The fact that the car saved my life, obviously, I'm gonna have like like I literally got pulled at the back of that car. So, I mean, it saved my life. It literally gave itself up for me. So I'm obviously gonna have. Look at that. There's a Model S. That's an older one. That's a pretty one.
It's not the Plaid, though.
Not the Plaid, though. Not like that Model. Man, that Plaid could get. Did I ever do like the total acceleration with you? I know I did it with Charles. I took Charles and.
I wasn't allowed in the Plaid.
You weren't allowed in the Plaid?
I was never around.
You were never there.
I was never around.
You're never allowed in the Plaid. Don't get that. Don't let people think.
It's a joke. I joke a lot.
Well, that's what Two does all the time. It's like, you never let me do. I'm like, don't say that to people. They're gonna think that I'm like this real. And I could be, but don't say it on camera. But
we joke around a lot.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I mean, it was cool because one thing is obviously the Model S is a little wider car. Well, it's a lot wider car. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Inside this refresh Model 3, I've got all the room in the world. I don't feel like I've given up any room compared to that Model S that I had. It's definitely, I think if you sit in the back of this car, you would definitely say different. Like that one was definitely bigger for other people. But I almost never have anybody in my back seat in this car. And then, yeah, the acceleration on that Plaid was crazy. I mean, 0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds. That's nuts. I mean, you're in a different zip code before anybody can even figure out what the hell happened to them. All right, it's getting darker now. Yeah, I kind of like the teal. Like, I would... The color that it's at right now, I would say is like not full teal, not full Carolina blue, but kind of right in the middle of Carolina blue and teal, right? I like it. I have to remember that one. So I guess that's what that button is for. Like, you can preset some of these and save them. Oh, man. I don't know what to pack for you, but she gave me like, so it's like the bigger suitcase thing. So at least I'm assuming she just shoved a whole lot of stuff in there. But if there's something that you want that she didn't put in there, just let me know, and I can bring it out there for you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I can't have no medication in there.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Say that again. Oh, so I can look that up.
Oh no, I just I got my car keys, truck keys there and stuff. I like having my stuff.
Yeah.
I got all types of mail. Oh, speaking of which, I got probably some checks. I don't need them right now, but they should be, you know.
Oh, you mean in the mail?
Yeah, the mail. This, that.
Well, but I'll tell you what. Before whenever I come out there again next time, let's see. Today is Thursday. I'm trying to think. So I'll try. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get out there in the next couple of days. I'll bring the mail. I'll check the mail and I'll bring it with me.
I probably don't need it until I get home. I got, you know, remember.
Unless if you get a check, you probably want to deposit it as soon as possible. No?
Yeah, I mean, I could, or that, or have like 3 checks when I get off.
That's true. Then it'd be better.
Yeah. I'm not hurting for no checks right now. But, I still got to get to what's the name?
That's right. You got one of them to them, so you got 2 more coming, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, just personal life.
Yeah, yeah. I'll believe all that. Yeah. That's the beauty of editing software. Anything you want me to mute.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell too. I was like, don't worry about how you talk when you get in the car with me. You just do what you, and if you want it muted, I'll mute it. Every once in a while, I'll get a question from one of them, be like, what happened during the video? It's like, nothing, I just muted it. And they end it right there. They, like, nobody's going to push on that. Like, no, we really want to know what you were saying when it was muted. And I was like, well, too bad.
Yeah.
That's a,
just say password.
yeah, that's, I want people to feel comfortable that they can talk while they're experiencing Tesla FSD, right? I don't want them to watch their language. So sometimes that's going to require me using the mute button. They understand it. Nobody's ever come back and said anything. There have been a couple of people like, hey, I don't know if it's me or you, but like your audio was going out. And I was like, no, that was me. I muted some things. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was one time. Oh man. These are like this type of thing, this conversation, this is easy because there's only like 4 or 5 places you have to go back and mute. The hard ones are when you get somebody sick in your car. So like the other night we picked up your mom from the airport and she got real sick while she was I shouldn't say that, I don't want to worry you. She got sick while she was in Vietnam, like a cold, yeah. And you know, like when people have a cold, they're sneezing and things like. So I was literally like every 30 seconds having to mute out. You know, like when somebody's, you know what I'm saying. You don't want people to have to listen to. I don't even want to say. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Hopefully, my mom. Is she feeling better?
Yeah, she's feeling better. But you know what I'm talking about when somebody's got a cold. Those are the toughest ones. I've had those a few times. And you know how your sister is too. When she first gets up in the morning, holy moly. I'm like, babe, can we wait a couple hours before we get in the car? Let you get all that out of your system. You know what I'm talking about. Not that, no. What she's had all her life.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't want to. Somebody.
I didn't know she had something while her life.
No, remember she's always had the nose thing.
Oh, allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family got it.
Yeah,
man, it's like,
but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like in the first couple hours every morning, it's like she's calling ducks.
Yeah.
So I have to mute that when we get in the car. If we ever get in the car first thing in the morning, I'm literally having to just. Some people are like, there was one time they're like, "Did you even do audio on this one?" I was like, let me explain my wife to you. She's got a little bit of a old allergy issue. Let's put it this way. First couple hours in the morning, ducks are circling our house.
Yeah. I don't get it as bad.
No, you don't have it at all from what I've never heard you. It's really
What's up?
just two. I don't even hear Jamie. So it's really just two. I don't think it's the family thing.
Oh, Johnny got it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
So
My
Johnny,
mom, yeah.
your mom. I don't hear. Of course, I'm not around Jamie as much in the morning. But I don't hear you doing it a lot. That's from being in those sweatshops at 3 years old. That's putting y'all on a
No,
sewing
it ain't
machine when
that.
you're 5.
Their little path is kind of like narrow.
Yeah. That's what I joke around with, too. I was like, that's what happens when you put a 5-year-old in a sweatshop.
It's possible.
Honestly, I joke about that, but, you know.
I swear, AT&T better not have say I still owe them some money. If they do, I'm calling. I'm suing them.
What
My
happened?
daughter's phone's disconnected. I mean, I'm not gonna keep paying the bill, and I told them to cancel it. I owed them 200 some, and when was it? I told them in November, or when I was in Kentucky, I told them if I could make payments
Yeah.
every 2 weeks, like $38. But it's been past, the 200.
Well, her phone got canceled anyway,
Yeah,
right?
248.
Are you on AT&T as well?
No,
No. Then I wouldn't. What are you worried about?
no, if they try to bill me,
Oh, well, they will.
huh?
They will, but where are they going to send it?
No, they got my card. They just,
Oh,
yeah.
well then why do they even need a bill? They'll just take it off your card, right?
Hopefully that ain't it. I mean, I know I'm already done paying them. And for you to try to get a hold of them, it's impossible.
Oh, AT&T.
Yeah.
I when I'm with AT&T, I just do everything through the app. They have a
Yeah.
app that you can use. I do pretty much, and their app is pretty good. So I just do everything through that.
Yeah, but if you can't pay the phone, if you don't have the phone, and you was trying to pay it, and you can't get a hold of your daughter, they take away your daughter's phone, and it's like, oh man,
Oh, I
Yeah.
got yeah.
you gotta have that phone to even look up the bills and stuff to be able to pay it.
Now with it.
But I paid them those. That's another way of building up my credit. Getting
Yeah.
all these little.
Charging on hold.
That's got to be my phone.
Do you want your phone?
Yeah, if you could grab
Yeah, absolutely, bud. There you go.
my Geico's about to go crazy on me.
Geico?
Yeah,
Is Geico your auto or
insurance
your
app.
Oh, insurance app. That's your auto insurance app.
Oh, okay, now it's okay. That's Long Beach Unified. I hate this, man.
What happened?
Increase on my Geico app, increase security things, features. Come on now, like
What happened?
they tell me the Geico's coming with increased security features. For what?
Well, they're always doing that, right? They're trying to improve because they don't want anybody to get in your stuff, right?
Yeah, but sometimes you forget your password, your
Oh.
password,
Yeah. Well, that's a
Yeah.
whole different thing.
and then you got face you expect it on face what do you call it, recognition.
Face recognition.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you get the upgrade and you got to do face recognition, know your password and everything. All you know what I mean? It's crazy nowadays.
Well, it's better than what it was before, right? You had to do everything through the mail. Well, we didn't. No, we'll take that back. We didn't even have cell phones before. Yeah, imagine how many bills we have today that didn't even exist as a concept 30 or 40 years ago. cell phones, internet. Okay. So,
I had to take it off the optimist.
you been taking this off there?
No, it's good. It's because it only charges my battery to 80%. I don't know why it does that. On my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you set it to only go to 80?
I never.
Sometimes it does that just for battery health.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to. It's got to go deep here, but you got a lithium-ion battery. Pretty much all these phones do, and technically, from a battery health perspective, you don't want it going to 100 all the time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, just you'll get more cycles out of it if you don't take it to 100%. So that's why a lot of people have it set to where it only goes to 80, so you'll actually get more life out of it. Long term, if you stay in that 20 to 80% range, you'll get more life out of the battery. Bimbo. It's a heck of a name for. I know that's the Mexican food, right? Bimbo. But that's a hell of a name, Bimbo. Hey, you Bimbo. Go get a Bimbo. What? No, I meant like a Bimbo treat. Oh, hey, go get a Bimbo. They make like those Mexican sweetbreads.
Yeah.
Mexican danishes. Those are pretty good, man. Dark. Let's see, we got about another 12 miles. Not far at all.
Oh, shoot. Hello?
Your child attend to the Woodlands Immersion School. Then,
Hello?
please join us our next parent university workshop on February 6th from 6
Hey,
to 7 p.m.
you hear me?
strategies, tips, and hand-on activities to support.
I think that was a,
Message.
yeah. You're like, hey, hello? That's funny. Yeah, I think what was that for?
My daughter's store.
Oh. What did it say?
Workshop, this and that, this
Oh.
and
So you get calls from her school?
that. Yeah, all the time.
So they just send these automated messages to the parents.
Yeah.
How's your daughter doing? Have you talked to her lately?
She's good. She goes to school.
She's back in school now?
Yeah, I told her to stay out of drama.
Yeah, no more drama. You don't need any drama outside of your own drama right now, right? much further, bud. Not much further. Lot of traffic right there. Glad we're not getting off on that exit. Good Lord. Look at that. It's like a mile back up.
What's it like that?
I guess because they've only got, let me see what this must be the Woodland Parkway exit. Is it only one lane on the Woodland Parkway? Yep. Is that one lane or two lane? See, that's ridiculous that would be one lane to do Woodland Parkway. Look at that. That was literally like a mile back there. Crazy.
I mean, they could have exited. I mean, everybody's driving like a slow.
Well, that's because they have to get into one lane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, if they had two lanes, it would, like the Beltway. You know how our Beltway, it goes two lanes? So it makes it go faster. When you go 59 to the Beltway. That's funny that they would put a Papacitas right next to a Chewy's. Man, they're going head to head every night, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like, some of these places, I've been out of state. I mean, out the city, and I'll go see friends, feed my friends. We got to eat. A lot of these places is crowded on Fridays, weekends, man.
Big time. Chewy's and Papacitas, like, you go there on a Friday night, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the food's good at both of them. I love both of them, but it's just, I just sometimes just don't want to deal with that, like, waiting 45 minutes to even get seated. Like, I'm sorry. It's just
good times, man. Hopefully I could have those times again.
That's a good point. Right now, here I am belly aching about 45-minute waits for a table, and you're like, man, give that to me. I'll take that right now. That's a good point, Sin. I just shut my mouth. I think this is where we went for one of your doctor's visits.
Yeah, right there. We got this.
Right over there. Yeah, that's it. Right over there. That place.
It's that harness that, you know.
Yep, got your harness done right there. Yep, there it is. That building. Right over there. Hangar.
Yeah. Yeah, this surgery right here, it's oh, man, on a pain level, I give it like 100, man. This pain level's bad.
So 0 to 10, it's a 9 or a 10?
Yeah, it's definitely a 10 and a half. Like, you can only rate it to a 10, but
well, yeah, 10 is like death.
It's
10 is like hit me in the head with a baseball bat, put me out of my med. So you're probably at a 9.5 then, because you haven't asked anybody to hit you in the head with a baseball bat. You don't feel that bad, right?
No, they could give me any kind of medicine, I will take it.
You'll take it.
It's bad. It's
so you are a 9.5 right now then.
Jeez, I'm at a hurt, pain, surgery. Yeah. I'll send you those pictures of stitches.
Yeah, send those pictures to me. I'll share them with two.
Share them with the folks out there that see what I got done.
Yep.
You know, it's my last surgery.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's all she wrote. And then now it's just the long road to recovery. Get you all rehabbed up.
Yeah.
It was funny on the way out there when I was doing my, talking to the camera. I was saying, yeah, I'm taking them to the rehab facility. And I was like, let me rephrase that. Just so y'all know, most of y'all, when y'all hear the term rehab facility, y'all think drugs. I'm talking physical therapy.
Yeah.
Rehab facility. Let me just be blunt. Let me recharacterize that so there's no, confusion on that. All right. Turn it in here. Now that's interesting. Before it used to take me to that, I mean, it's 6 out of 12, half a dozen the other, but it used to take me over there to take you in there. Now it's taking me in here. Now let's see where it takes me. Is it going to take me to the front, or is it going to try to park me in the parking lot? I doubt it's going to park in the parking lot because there's not even any lanes in the parkings. You know what I'm saying? It's like hard to see. I'm not sure what it would pick out to park in. Let's see if it just takes me to the front, though. I bet you it's going to take me... keep going now. Let's go to the front. Let's go to the front. Home sweet home for you, Sin. You didn't think you'd see these beautiful ladies again, but you're going to get to see them. You got a young...
I'll tell them I'll be back.
Yeah. The king is back.
I'm a man of my word.
King Ding-a-ling. The king has returned.
Man of my word, I came back.
I came back, ladies.
To recover.
Look at this. Are we going all the way to the... Look at this, Sin. The king has returned. Look at this. Look at this. This is like a kingly entrance right here.
Okay.
Watch it. It's going to be like... Ta-da. It should just go like, give like a regal ta-da. All right, everybody. Got my brother-in-law in the physical therapy rehab center. He's all good to go. So now it's time to head on back home. I've got the coordinates for the house already plugged in. So let's go ahead and push the little blue button and get on back to Porter. All right. Pulling out of the parking lot. Take a right turn here. Head towards the feeder. Slow down for that speed bump. Great job. And we're up to the feeder. We got a lot of oncoming traffic, so we just got to wait. Well, maybe we don't. Great job. The last time I was here, I was on, God, I was still on version 12 the last time I was here. So I was ready to wait a while with that amount of oncoming traffic on the feeder. It found a gap and it went. Man, yeah, that was definitely different. All right, let's see what direction it's taking us tonight. So it looks like we're going to get up on I-45 south for a little bit to head home. We're about 25 miles from my house, which is navigation is showing about 35 minutes. We will have pretty much traversed almost every inch of Houston today, this afternoon and tonight when it's all said and done. So we went from Porter, which is all the way up in the northeast area of Houston, down to Sugarland, which is all the way down in the southwest area of Houston, and then went to the Woodlands here, which is all the way up in the northernmost area, and now we're heading back over to Porter, the northeast. So northeast to southwest to north, back to northeast. So only places we didn't hit were the northwest end and the southeast end. Let's see what we got. Looks like got about a half mile till we get up on I-45. Just kind of curious which way navigation is taking us. Going by the Woodlands Mall. All right, we're getting up on the on-ramp for I-45 going southbound. It looks like we'll be here for 2.5 miles, and then we'll get off on the exit for Highway 99 going eastbound towards Porter. All right. So, oh, you know what? I was going to change up let's get around these semis, and I was going to change up the light bar. So we kind of had it teal, Carolina blue. Let's see what lights we can do. Let's see. Done green, purple. Let's do that. Oh, wrong. Trying to keep my eyes on the road while doing this. Let's go back to purple. There we go. change up the color scheme a little bit. See how y'all like purple, kind of like a royal purple. All right, got about 3/4 of a mile till we get to Highway 99. Excuse me. Wish I'd have grabbed a water from the rehab facility before I left. Continue to get over to the right. Go. Perfect. All right. Getting off on the exit for Highway 99. And it looks like we'll be on the feeder for a couple of miles before we get to Highway 99 Grand Parkway. All right, so we on the way to go pick up my brother-in-law. We talked about the Tesla Q4 earnings release. I gave some background, some historical background on Tesla and its markets, what it's done historically, and why that all led to Q4 of 2024 being considered a mixed bag, and in some cases even a poor fundamental quarter for the company, simply due to not meeting prior consensus estimates on vehicle deliveries and sales. But again, we also touched on why that was the case. And quite frankly, with everything that the company faced, in my humble opinion, and the opinion of many others who are much more in tune with what's going on within Tesla as well as the industry and the market in general, is they did a yeoman's job of navigating all of the macro and micro headwinds that they had. We talked about a bunch of the macro headwinds, interest rates, inflation. So that was just, and then the fact that, most folks are underwater on their vehicles, right? So somebody that's owned a vehicle for 2 or 3 years, let's be blunt. If you bought a vehicle 2 to 3 years ago, you are highly, highly likely underwater unless you put a lot down, unless you made a huge down payment on a vehicle back in 2022 or early 2023. You are highly likely underwater as it's compared to the resale value of your current used vehicle. So that's a big headwind as well. And then you got the overall headwind in the United States that, EV adoption has stalled. It just has. It has not in the rest of the world. And I shouldn't say all of the rest of the world. The biggest part of the rest of the world. It definitely has not stalled in China. It has definitely not stalled in Asia. And there's parts of Europe even that it has not stalled. But in the United States of America and certain parts of Western Europe, it is definitely stalled. And that's not just Tesla, that's EV adoption in general. We just can't get past that 10%. It's like it's really been base hits for us here in the US. It's 1% or 2% here or there every year. And it seems to have really just slowed down a bit. We kind of talked about that on the way to see my brother, and some of that's just cultural. And unfortunately, that cultural affinity and affiliation to ICE vehicles is going to be an Achilles heel for us, for not just EV adoption, but everything that comes along with it. I mean, most EVs today are mobile robots, and your ICE vehicle is not. And so the rest of the world is adopting robotics, especially China, at a blistering pace, and everything that goes with it. And they rush headlong into new technology. And here in America, our culture just lately has been to fight against it and to try to stop, you know, maybe not stop it, but halt it and regulate it in any way we can. The issue is that, okay, you can do that in the United States, but that doesn't affect China. That doesn't affect Korea or the rest of Asia. They're just going to keep moving forward. And so we're going to get behind in this robotics and AI age. And fortunately, it seems like the worm has turned. I just kind of get the feeling that although folks are still scared about AI to a large extent and robotics, that the worm has turned. That enough folks in America have woken up to the fact that we can't stop it. That no matter how much we might wish cast it to stop, or how much we might want it to stop and to maintain the status quo, I just kind of get the sense that America has woken up to the fact that we can't do it. We can't stop it. And that if we don't get on the train is going to squash us. And we are no longer going to be leaders over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And make no mistake about it, the decisions we make today, tomorrow, this quarter, the next 9 months, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, those are going to be pivotal in whether we lead in this AI revolution or we're a follower and we just accept what's given to us. And I, for one, would rather, if it's inevitable, which it definitely appears to be, I mean, unless you feel like grabbing a bunch of your buddies and buying a boat, getting a bunch of guns and get a couple of 150 Evinrudes and motorboat your way over to Beijing and show up at the port of Shanghai or in Beijing and say, I'm here from America and I need you to stop developing AI. First, they're likely going to laugh that 20 knuckleheads got into a boat with two 150 Evinrudes and thought they could motorboat their way over to the port of Shanghai and tell the Chinese what to do. And then we probably won't hear from you for a while. But after that, they're going to continue developing AI. They're going to continue going hard in the paint on it. And I just get the sense that most Americans have come to terms with the fact that, obviously I'm being facetious, you can't do that. And they've come to terms with the fact that the rest of the world's just not going to stop because we wish they would. And they would rather us continue to lead than to fall behind and let somebody else dictate the 21st century. Because make no mistake about it, whoever leads in artificial intelligence and robotics is going to lead the rest of the 21st century. So that brings me to the main part of the Q4 earnings release. The best way I can characterize the Tesla Q4 earnings release was Tesla telling its investor base, institutions, analysts, the nation, anybody that cares to listen, that we have met an inflection point in human history. And one of the best phrases I heard today was from a young man. His name is Omar Kazi. He goes by the handle Homar's Blog. So if you're on X or YouTube, look him up. Homar's Catalog, Homar's Blog. But he had, quite frankly, one of the best phrases I've ever heard. And it goes like this. Quote, "If you don't like the conversation, flip the table." Close quote. And what that means is, for years now, everybody's just been hating on Tesla. They don't want, for whatever reason, they don't want there to be EVs. They don't want an EV revolution to happen. They don't want a green future. Whatever it is, they don't want batteries to be part of it. They don't want this or that. They don't like Elon for a bunch of different reasons. They don't like this and they don't like that. And when you're operating in a world where you're making personal vehicles and you're beholden to an individual deciding whether they're going to purchase your vehicle or not based on brand loyalty or all sorts of other personal reasons, you are beholden to that. And your business can go with the ups and downs. So on one hand, business is going great in China, right? They're going hard in the paint on EVs. And so we can't make enough Teslas for China and the rest of Asia. But in certain parts of the United States, we've run into some headwinds. Whether it be we just can't get past that 9 to 10% EV adoption hurdle. Like I said before, we as a culture are just wedded to our internal combustion engine cars for a lot, like I said, for a lot of cultural reasons. And so that's one reason maybe we can't get past that 9 to 10% rate. And then there's folks that just don't like Tesla or don't like Elon or don't like a lot of things about what's going on. And so they are free to vote with their pocketbook as well. And that is perfectly fine. And in fact, I support it. Like I've said before, I am a United States Marine, and I believe wholeheartedly with my life in the U.S. Constitution. And one part of that Constitution gives you the right to speak with your pocketbook. And many folks are speaking with their pocketbook, and they're coming from two different directions. Although from completely opposite sides of the political aisle, if you will, they're speaking the same language. They're basically saying, I don't want that EV here in the United States or certain parts of Western Europe. So, as Omar said so eloquently, quote, "If you don't like the conversation, flip the table," close quote. Don't argue with the conversation. Don't wish cast that the conversation would change and be one that you like. Don't force feed somebody to want an EV when they don't want one. Don't sell your soul to someone and say corporate speak so somebody else on the opposite end will buy your car. Neither of those are going to work because you're never going to be able to speak to both of those people at the same time. You just can't. One side's not going to like you because they don't like EVs. The other side's not going to like you because you're who you are. So just forget about arguing and flip the script. Change the narrative. Flip the table. And we are at an inflection point in human history where that table has not been flipped yet, but the hands are underneath the table. They've picked it up off the ground. And it's a few inches off the ground right now. Make no mistake about it. That table is not on the ground anymore. That table is hovering off the ground. But it hasn't been flipped over yet. And how is that table going to be flipped? How is that narrative going to be flipped? Through autonomy and through humanoid robotics. And the best terminology you can use to summarize both of those, because those are two somewhat different things, although they do bleed over. Obviously, humanoid robotics involves autonomy, and autonomous vehicles involve robotics. I am riding in a robot right now. This vehicle I'm in, this autonomous vehicle, is a mobile robot. It is an autonomous robot. Make no ifs, ands, or buts. Whichever way you want to look at it. You can call it a car. Go ahead. I call it a car. It's my car. But make no mistake about it. This vehicle that I am in is an autonomous robot. But it's not a humanoid autonomous robot. And so you can summarize both of those things and just call it, quote unquote, real world AI. Real world AI. Close quote. So there's all sorts of AI, and you've probably heard about some of them, these large language models, these LLMs. You know, you got ChatGPT. You got Gemini. You got Anthropic. You've got Grok on the X platform, and probably several others. And now you got DeepSeek out of China. And the latest and greatest is, I've heard Alibaba, who's also in China, has taken DeepSeek's technology and made it better. So that's one form of AI, these large language models that are getting better and better and being iterated on. But then there's what we would call real world AI, where you're taking artificial intelligence and putting it out into the real world. Like, I am in the real world right now. I'm not on a computer or a Mac or an iPhone trying to find a restaurant. I'm not out there, trying to find out who won the World Series in 1958 and who played first base for that team, or who won MVP for the New York Yankees in the 1954 World Series, or whatever. I am on real roads in the real world, traveling real distances to go from a real place over in the Woodlands to a real place called my home in Porter, Texas. Real world AI. And so that's what Tesla is doing. And when Elon wanted to enunciate in as clear terms as possible how he is leading Tesla into this real world AI phase, is he said, quote, "We are not doubling down on autonomy. We are 10xing down on autonomy. And so close quote. My words, they are going as hard in the paint as you can go with real world AI. They are going Shaquille O'Neal to the bucket. And if you want to get in my way, I will carry you on my back to the bucket while I'm stuffing this Wilson ball down your throat, the throat of your other teammate. That's what he's doing. And so when you think about Tesla and real world AI. That really involves, like I said, two main things: autonomous transportation, autonomous vehicles, and humanoid robots. And so when we think about autonomous vehicles, what that basically means is take what I'm doing right now, which is supervised full self-driving. And I am on version 13.2.2. But at Tesla, they are already well beyond version 13.2.2. They're testing out versions that are probably 2 to 3 ahead of me. And what they are seeing has got them so stoked that they're literally not even thinking in terms of vehicle deliveries anymore. Personal vehicle delivery. Like that, it's just not, it's not in the conversation for the future of Tesla 5 to 10 years from now. The future of Tesla is autonomous transportation and, to the biggest extent, humanoid robots, which is the Optimus robot. So we are going to have an unsupervised, now listen to me carefully, I am doing supervised FSD right now. And I've told you before what supervised FSD means. That means it is definitely full self-drive. Like, you've seen it. It has driven me everywhere around Houston. I don't know where we're going to end up, but we're probably going to be well over 100 miles driving today. And I have not touched the steering wheel or the pedals one time during all that driving around Houston. But I've been supervising. I am in the driver's seat. I have to keep my head looking out the front windshield, and I have to be completely cognizant. So it's supervised, and that in-cabin camera is checking me the entire time. So, where is Tesla at today? They announced that they will be starting an unsupervised rideshare service in Austin, Texas in June of this year. Let me repeat that. Tesla will be beginning an unsupervised ride-sharing service in Austin, Texas in June of 2025. That is literally 4 to 5 months away. So we're at the end of January. So depending on when and again, they didn't put a specific day on June. And we are talking Elon here, so that's good. But the last time Tesla put out their deadlines on like version 13 and the iterations of version 13, they were pretty damn spot on. They got it. It was in the last day of the month. But let's say that's at the end of like by July 4th weekend. Let's say we have it going by July 4th weekend. I mean, that's 5 months away. What they also said is that's not it. That's not the end of it. They will also be doing something similar in certain locations in California before the end of this calendar year. As well as there are other cities, and they did not enumerate which cities or how many. So all they said was cities. So that's 2 or more somewhere in the United States, where they will also roll out an unsupervised ride-hailing / ride-sharing service in those areas before the end of 2025. And then in 2026, they will start rolling it out across the nation. It's happening, folks. It's happening. Like I've told you before, as good as it may be, what you're seeing me use in these videos, as good as this is, make no mistake about it, I am 2 to 3 versions of FSD at least behind the folks at Tesla right now and what they're testing. So it's happening, folks. And once they get this thing rolling out in the middle of 2025 in Austin, and then in California, and then in other cities, and then across the country, well, over the next 12 to 18 months, it's going to be game on. It is going to change everything. We're also going to have unsupervised for your own personal vehicle in what Elon said was a low single-digit number of months. So I know what single digit means. That's 9 or less. Low, that is in the eye of the beholder. I would prefer low be 1 or 2. But honestly, low could be 5 or less, right? 5 is kind of the middle. So I'm thinking, you know, about the same time that they're rolling out an unsupervised ride-hailing service in Austin, they'll probably start bringing unsupervised into personal vehicles under certain situations in certain places as well. So like, I may be able to start doing unsupervised FSD here in my vehicle in a low single-digit number of months. So that's happening. Further, to stay with vehicle autonomy, Cybercab. They will begin producing the special purpose-built Cybercab by the end of 2025, by the end of this calendar year. I don't know, I don't remember if they said how many, so I don't think it will be a lot before the end of this year, but they will begin producing it. And they're going to start producing it in the Austin, Texas Gigafactory. So like their main Gigafactory there here in Texas. So that's where a line will be. Obviously, by the time they ramp this up, they'll probably have multiple places, at least 3, probably 4 or 5 at some point, gigafactories around the world where they're producing these Cybercabs. But they will begin in 2025 in Austin, Texas, and they will be in full swing in 2026, where they are mass producing these things, thousands at a clip, millions of each year out of Austin, and highly likely by the time we get to 2026, at least 1 or 2 other locations. So vehicle autonomy is happening, folks. It's happening. I mean, I know y'all tune into my videos and you see what this technology can do. But let's also let's just be blunt. I'm still in the driver's seat, and you can see with my camera that I am monitoring and supervising the whole time. Well, those days are numbered. They are in the low single-digit number of months. And that's going to change the world. And I've done videos before of where I think that's going to go, and I won't reiterate that for this discussion here on just the earnings call. But make no mistake about it. Autonomous transportation is going to change the world. There will be a day. This is the inflection point. 2025 is going to be an inflection year. It's where it's all going to begin. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be some headwinds. There are definitely going to be some headwinds. And on our next FSD drive, I'm going to talk about those headwinds. But this is going to be the year of inflection. And within 10, 15, 20 years, most folks will not own vehicles. It won't make any sense, financially or logistically or otherwise. Will there still be personal ownership of vehicles? Of course there will. Do people still own horses? Of course they do. But are people going to own vehicles 10, 15 years from now the way they do right now? No. All right. Let's put a pin in that. Let's see how we do here. There's my driveway. It just does not want to go over that hump, does it? Okay, are we going to try it this time? Are we going to try it? Are we going to do it? Oh my God. Here I am. I just spoke for the last 30 minutes about vehicle autonomy. And for the very first time, soup to nuts, it parked me at my house. It pulled up into my... So it went over the hump. It went over that hump. I'm wondering if my brother-in-law's big old truck being here and me forcing it to park over there and trying to get around his truck made a difference. And my neighbor still has their car out there, so it had to... The angle was still there. It did it. It did it. Well, all right. Well, that's something to end on for talking about vehicle autonomy. Well, let me just make sure, because we're not done yet, but let me make sure I closed it, because we're going to get on to humanoid robots as well. But yeah, I talked about, here's one other thing. Tesla now has over 3 billion miles of FSD. 3 billion miles logged of FSD. They are getting 10 million miles a day. So I did 100 of it for them today, but they're getting 10 million a day. So just think about that. 10 million miles every day being fed into that neural network and just making it better and better and better. So that's another one. We talked about 10x autonomy, June in Austin, California, and other cities. And they are in talks to license FSD to other OEMs. What I will tell you, Elon's tenor on that was, look, if you're interested, like he basically told the OEMs, we're done telling you about it. Go buy one of our cars, tear it apart, look at the cameras, and come to us and tell us if you're interested. But otherwise, we're moving on. He's literally told the legacy OEMs, we're not going to hold your hand through this. Because if you don't do it, you're dead. If you don't move towards FSD, you are done. This is your only lifeline for being anywhere close to what you are today, 5 to 10 years from now. But he also said, we don't care if you don't. We're moving forward. So if you want to do it, go buy one of our Model Ys or one of our Model 3s, tear the thing apart in your factory, look at where we've got our camera placement, look at the technology, and give us a call. And if you don't, it was nice. Enjoy your Model Y, enjoy your Model 3, and we'll talk to you later. But we're not coming to you. You come to us. Man, when I heard that, I was like, wow. I mean, it was just like, he beat the bully. The bully picked on him for so long, and he punched the bully in the nose. And it's up to the bully to figure out whether they can shove their ego aside for a while and survive, or whether they can't and they don't. And we talked about cybercabs. So that's it. That's what I had on vehicle autonomy. The next time we'll talk about what's really going to be the value of Tesla 10, 15 years from now. I could, honestly, probably 5 to 10 years from now. We've been talking about vehicle autonomy, and that's going to be huge. But something else is just going to dwarf it, and that's humanoid robotics. And you don't even have to take Tesla's word for it. If you don't like Tesla, if you hate Elon, fine. Well, then go on YouTube, type in humanoid robotics, and just say anything but Tesla. And guess what's going to come up? About 8 other companies building humanoid robots, and you are going to have your jaw drop to the floor. But just remember, all of those other folks making humanoid robotics, humanoid robots, how many of them have made 7 to 8 million vehicle robots? Not one of them. How many of them have 6 or 7 gigafactories across the world that are used to making millions of vehicles? They already make robots. None of them. So if you don't believe in humanoid robotics at Tesla, fine. Then just go look at go take somebody else's word for it. And you'll see. Humanoid robotics is going to happen. And I really want to talk about that with you as well, because that doesn't just have financial ramifications for Tesla, because my Lord Almighty, if they do this, the path is there. If they meet that path, I mean, it comes to a point where it's not even worth talking about the finances anymore. It becomes a sociological discussion. And we can talk about the sociological part of that as well. But I'm not doing that now. I wanted to close out the vehicle autonomy part of it. And so, yeah. And what a great way to end this drive than for it to park me perfectly. And not just park me, but park me perfectly in my own driveway. All right, everybody. I know it's been a long one, but it's been a good one. And oh, by the way, we pulled into my driveway at 34%. We left at 66%, pulled in at 34%. Man, and we've gone well over 100 miles today. Well over 100. Probably like I'll check it out, but I'm pretty sure we're in that 125 to 150 area. And I left at 66, and I've pulled in at 34. God bless the Tesla Model 3 long range. Man, it is just a road trip warrior. All right, everybody. I love all of you. And like I said, we're going to finish out this discussion on Q4 earnings, because I want all of y'all who follow me, that subscribe to me on YouTube. I want you to listen to it. I want you to hear about it. All right, everybody. I love you, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.